Welcome everybody to the Greg and Martin 10-minute chat hour. This is episode number 2. My name is Martin Straps.
And I'm Greg Straps.
And we're going to talk to you for 10 minutes. And because this is episode 2.
This is episode 2.
We'll talk about something different.
And how has it been? Like, it's been a week.
Yep.
So what's it like? A week of being a YouTube superstar? Sensation.
Crazy.
Is it superstar or sensation?
Superstar.
What do they call it? A YouTube superstar.
Hashtag Martin is a YouTube superstar as of episode 1.
Wow. That's
and when you
catchy.
spell Martin, the possessive apostrophe will come between the N and the S. But
do you put that in there?
Not in the hashtag.
Because you don't do that.
Breaks
in
up the hashtag.
Punctuation has no place in a hashtag.
No.
Except for the actual hashtag. That's the only punctuation.
Yeah, treat your punctuation in a hashtag like Cormac McCarthy in his novels, which is it doesn't exist.
Right.
So what's today's 10-minute episode about?
You know what? I was on Facebook, and you posted a little something. Is a picture of somebody had written a note to you, kind of a love note, except not, maybe a slightly different emotion.
Yeah.
But what did the note say exactly? What was the wording of that?
Well, okay, so I was having lunch. I finished a very nice meal. I left the restaurant. I got in my car, and in the windshield, I could see some paper in there, and I knew it wasn't a parking ticket or anything like that. So I wasn't.
It was probably a phone number.
Probably because I'm thinking they saw episode 1.
Yeah, YouTube superstar.
And I think I recognized that YouTube superstar in that. So I got out and I got the note. And very lovely handwriting. So right away,
that was the one thing that struck me immediately. This is some really nice penmanship. This person has amazing penmanship.
And,
lovely.
Yeah, and it said,
truly,
you park like a jackass.
That's right.
Happy holidays. which was confusing because the first half I thought they were mad.
And was it even a holiday?
It's a holiday season.
Okay. Season. That's fine.
But then I also thought, you know what? I had mixed feelings. On the one hand, that's very polite, but on the other hand, why do they hate Jesus?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I think
because I've heard from Fox News that he's the reason for the season. So why would you say Happy Holidays when you're complaining about my parking? Hashtag.
Well, maybe, but you know what? Actually, let's put it in some kind of context.
Sure.
Maybe jackasses are really good at parking.
Oh, see, I didn't consider that. I don't know where they're coming from.
You don't know.
They're coming from where? Yeah.
Well, let's try to figure this out. What was the parking situation? Was it a parallel parking situation?
No.
Or was it,
this was a very standard.
Think of parking lot.
Think of it as a shopping center parking lot. Very standard. Now, here's what I do remember. The car that was next to me, they certainly were parked like a jackass. I didn't write them a note.
Okay.
So, if I had to compensate a little bit, but even with my compensation, you're going to have to take my word for it.
Let's say that these are the parking lots.
Sure.
And your car, was it a little, or was it on top of the line? Were you angled a little bit?
I was absolutely inside of the lines.
You're inside
Might
the
have been a
lines.
slight angle, but I did not molest either one of the lines.
I should hope not, because then you're gonna have to move to yet another state.
Yeah, and I'll have to talk to all the neighbors let them know
explain everything,
which is always it's never a conversation I look forward to having twice.
No,
yeah, especially if everybody's not home, then I have to go back and talk to the rest of the family.
Yeah,
it's a whole gimmick. Don't even worry about it.
Parking is tricky,
but here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that I was.
Not to change the subject.
But here's the one thing. On the one hand, you brought up some great context that maybe
that's why I'm here.
Jackasses park really well in this person in the
Maybe,
world, and that's cool.
Maybe that was a compliment.
Here's the other thing that I thought was what if because again the handwriting was so lovely that it's like
and are you sure there was no phone number on there? You park like a jackass. Happy holidays. Here's my
please
number.
call me. Hashtag YouTube superstar. Maybe they forgot to put that part.
I think, as I recall, your hashtag was like 10 times longer than that.
Well, obviously, it's a hashtag YouTube superstar.
Needless to say, she wrote the whole thing.
Yeah, it was all in there, except maybe it got cut off. But I'm thinking, what if? Here, you said she. I also assumed it was a woman. Is that sexist? I have no idea. But the handwriting.
Handwriting.
If we were like forensic detectives, we'd be like, well.
The first thing we would say is, this is
it was
female.
sexy handwriting, which also threw me off because she's
sexy.
not being very nice to me. But the handwriting's nice.
But let's be honest, you kind of like that.
A little
You
bit.
actually find that sexier.
She also has a kid.
Hashtag Martin thinks it's sexy when chicks are not nice to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hashtag true story. So in my imagination, she has a kid old enough to be bossed around.
Because it is Vegas.
Yeah. And so she's in her car and she sees somebody next to me. Maybe the guy who messed up. Again, the guy is the one who parked poorly next to me. She's thinking,
definitely
that guy parks like a jackass. And so she writes a note, but it's sweet because she's thinking about YouTube superstar, but writing this guy an angry note. Writes the note, gives it to her kid, and she's like, yo, put this on that windshield because I need that jackass to know how I feel, even though I'm not going to be here for him to see this. And so her kid,
he doesn't know which car.
Yeah, and so he's thinking, which car?
She just points in the general direction, that car over there.
And she's so lost in her haze of thinking about YouTube superstar Martin Lestraps that she says, just put it on the car. I don't have time for this. So he goes and he puts it on the car that makes the most sense to him, which is mine, even though he was supposed to put it on the other guy's car.
This story makes absolute sense. I'm almost positive this is how it went down.
You know what? The more we talk about it,
the more it was actually a nice note.
I'm glad we talked about this.
Yeah,
I think we worked that out.
Much better about it. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee.
Go for it.
But
we've both had cardramarama.
I've had hashtag cardramarama.
Nailed it.
I like that. Very good. Yeah, cardramarama. Parking because I'm a native Los Angelino. I was born in this city. I didn't live here every single day of my life, but
most of it.
I've lived here for a long time. I live in Burbank, and Burbank is, Burbank is tricky because Burbank is a lovely town. If you drive down the streets of Burbank, one of the things that you're going to notice is, wow, these streets are lovely. These there are trees everywhere, and yet I don't see any leaves. I don't see any trash. It comes at a cost, and it's street sweeping. Yep. And street sweeping, they don't do all the street sweeping on one day. They do it on alternate days. So this leaves you, if you have to park on the street, which all the time I've lived in Burbank, I've had to park on the street at some point, most of the time. And if I'm parking on the street, I have to remember which side, what day it is, which am I parked on the right side? And if and sometimes you remember and it's like 10 minutes too late. It's like, oh, it's I already got a ticket. And then you go outside. I've supplied the city of Burbank with so much money in parking tickets. You're welcome, city.
In fact, you have cleaned up the streets of Burbank effectively for the last several years.
Or have stood in the way of the street cleaning. There's always that one Greg's car shaped area that has leaves and trash in it. And that is my fault. I apologize.
You ever been in a car accident? Probably. Who hasn't?
Everybody's been in a car accident. But you?
Yeah, not only have I been in a car accident, my first car accident, I was 16 years old, and I had my driver's license for about 3 weeks.
I remember this.
And it was, here's the thing. So I had my license for 3 weeks. I was working at Taco Bell at the time, put myself through driving school. It's a beautiful American dream story. Paid my way through driving school, got my driver's license, was driving for 3 weeks. I was making an unprotected left turn on a street that was it was around the corner from where I grew up. I knew of this street and this signal for 16 years. Apparently,
you're big on unprotected accidents.
I love those. Those are the best
ones to have.
Those are the best ones. Hashtag Planned Parenthood. So I was making an unprotected left turn, but I didn't know it. There was like 2 cars in front of me, and they were just rolling. It was like a circus. Like, this is easy. Driving is easy. They turn, he turned. I'm gonna go ahead and turn. The car that was coming down the street.
What could possibly happen?
They had no idea that I was gonna go ahead and turn. They were coming. They're probably thinking he's gonna stop or keep going. I think I did neither. I think I got to the middle of the intersection, and I thought, that car's coming awfully fast. Why don't I wait here and see what happens?
Hesitated.
And they were coming downhill.
Yeah.
And then they hit me very hard. The car spun around.
That's interesting because some people in that same situation might hit the accelerator a little harder.
No. You hesitate long enough
in their path.
A nice T-bone collision.
Oh, okay.
And there was, there was fire engines and there was police cars. And I swear, there was people that I hadn't seen in years. Everybody I'd ever met in my life drove by that accident and they slowed down. And wow. It was and then the people in the other car, one of them was taken away on a stretcher. Ooh. Somebody cracked, and I'm thinking, dude, 3 weeks in, 3 weeks, and
Wow.
here's the other thing. That was the summer of O.J. Simpson, and here I was,
trying to make news.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking, you know what? He's not the only one that can make news with a high speed chase.
Yeah.
Hashtag. Well, is that it?